Hello, welcome to another episode of Somewhere Between a film and TV podcast. We are your hosts. I am Daniel Parra.
And I'm Erwin Trejo.
And Erwin.
Yes.
What we like to do here is review movies and TV shows. Occasionally we'll get off topic, but eventually we'll circle back around.
And occasionally we'll review a TV show.
I've heard really good things about Fallout, and
okay.
Unfortunately, it's too late for us to really review it, but yeah. I keep hearing amazing things about it.
Okay.
I thought it was just going to be one of those things that people really like. I liked The Witcher a lot, and then season 3, and then the Liam Hemsworth stuff, but whatever.
What happened in season 3?
It just wasn't good.
Oh, you seen it?
I've seen part of it. I stopped watching because we're both picky about TV shows.
Yeah,
that's why we haven't really.
I'm more of a sitcom guy, to be honest. I've seen a lot of sitcoms.
Abbott Elementary is amazing.
Yeah.
That's just my job. But I was looking at the TV shows that are coming up that I was like, oh, we can review these. And it's like The Boys season 4. I wish we would have started this show to be around for Invincible. But also the other one was, The Bear is in June.
The Bear. Okay.
But we are introducing a new concept for our episodes this year, and it is because we are so old. It is the 2004 retrospective series where we'll review movies from 2004. Right? Yeah. Specifically because I remember us talking about this. The 2004 movies are incredibly influential on both of us.
Yeah.
I think they're separate movies, but the ones we're covering today are Shrek 2 and Spider-Man 2. And if somehow you haven't seen either of these movies, this will include full spoilers for both of them. Now, Erwin, I think we should start with Spider-Man 2.
I love it.
And I'll ask you, do you love it? Do you hate it? Or are you somewhere between?
I'm somewhere between loving and loving.
Okay. How much exactly?
Man, I really wish I could just show you, but it was just this much.
I mean, I can see it.
Oh yeah, no one else can see
they
it.
They can't. Well, asking you this, we have actually touched on Spider-Man 2 before. We didn't go fully in depth on it, but we did in our Spider-Man ranked video, if you want to go ahead and check that out. And while I'm thinking about it, also, if you could, please leave a review, anything for us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It helps us out a lot. And
what would be better, Spotify or Apple?
Really either or.
Okay.
People are everywhere.
Okay. Yeah.
So, me asking you this, whenever Spider-Man 2 came out when you were 5 years old, do you remember seeing it
Absolutely
for the first time?
not. I don't remember seeing
Right before
Spider-Man
I
2.
hit record, it was like, I don't remember anything.
I don't remember anything when I was 5. The only thing I remember when I was that age was when I stole gummy bears at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and it was in the very top shelf, and my mom would walk into my bedroom me passed out with gummy bears all over my bed because I'm a big gummy guy.
Wait, but you didn't eat all of them?
No, dude. I just remember stuffing my face. I was like, this is so good, and then I just remember just falling asleep again, and then I remember waking up to my mom screaming at me, yelling, "Why did you eat all these gummies?" But I didn't eat all of it. It's just the fact that
you left them on the bed.
But they're all spread around. I remember waking up with huh, just drool and everything.
On your bed?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were 5.
I was 5. It's just yesterday.
Dude, it's incredibly unsanitary to leave food on your bed.
Yeah, dude, I was not thinking about that.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to stuff candy wrappers inside of random things whenever I would hide, because I would also sneak down the stairs, and then I would be like, wait, I have to dispose of the evidence. And for some reason, I wouldn't put it in the trash downstairs. I would just hide it in my random places in my room.
Oh.
So we're not too far off from each other about that. But I do remember watching this movie in theaters for the first time. I remember one of my first ever memories. You know how they say that whenever you're coming into reality that you realize you're a person and you're like, what's going on? is one of my first memories was watching the first Spider-Man movie also and being terrified of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Spider-Man 2, I remember being like insanely excited for it. I remember I would always sit in front of my grandma's TV. It was one of those like tiny little CRT TVs that has like the VHS built into it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And I would try and watch Titanic on it. And it was in the VHS format. So I would have to like watch both cassettes and flip back and forth. And there was this Burger King commercial that would come on all the time for Spider-Man 2 because they had the toys. And I remember I had one of them.
Oh, okay.
And I just remember loving Spider-Man a lot. What I thought about the movie overall, I don't know. But I was like 5.
I love Spider-Man.
I do
so
too.
Much. Yeah, I remember just watching all the Spider-Man movies, especially the Spider-Man 2 and the first Spider-Man at home, but when we had the DVD sets.
Yeah.
And I remember just playing those movies all the time, or whenever we had cable, and it would occasionally be on like, I don't remember what, like maybe FX or TNT or something.
Oh, whenever FX had the movies.
Yeah. That's my favorite one.
So, in terms of this trilogy, whenever we were growing up, what did they mean to you? What were your viewing habits for the first 3 in particular?
So the first, I would say, I think I remember watching the third one the most.
Yeah, no, me too, I think.
But then I remember loving the second one so much more than the amount of times I've seen the third one.
Yeah.
And then I remember occasionally watching the first one. But I think it's because I do remember as a kid not enjoying the Green Goblin aspect because it was just scary.
You didn't?
That's why. But of course, like later on, I'm like, oh, wow, I love this.
Yeah.
And then eventually I just loved all 3 of them and I would just enjoy the whole trilogy.
No, so I remember being obsessed with the third one. I was like, I love Venom so much.
Venom is so cool.
He's nothing like, I didn't know this at the time, like he's nothing like the comic book version of him. Although Topher Grace is like a #1 hater in that movie.
Yeah.
But I do remember really loving just all of them as a whole. I know I've seen Spider-Man 3 the most, that is for sure. But Spider-Man 2 also had like the special thing about it.
I do think as of now, I've seen Spider-Man 2 the most.
Yeah.
But
no,
as a kid, as Spider-Man, I would watch Spider-Man 3 so many times because of Venom.
Yeah. Or like any of the fights were so cool. But I think that growing up, it was really interesting because Sam Raimi has a penchant for horror because he started with Evil Dead.
Yes.
And I forgot how much his style translates into those movies, especially in the first one. I want to ask you, I did not get to see the re-release of the first one in theaters. How was your experience with that? Because I can tell you about Spider-Man 2 because we saw it together. We'll go into that in a second. But the first one, how'd that go?
Terrible, because like the film just like stopped
3
times, like 2 or 3 times, like out of nowhere. And so that was kind of annoying, which, I mean, it didn't take away from the experience, but it could have gone a lot better.
Yeah.
And of course it happened with Spider-Man 2.
Just the one time, I think. But
yeah. Too many times. One is too many times.
I mean, you had me curious because how was your crowd for the first one?
Oh, amazing. I think anybody who would go see these movies again in theaters, they're fans. They're already fans. And I think we saw, I don't remember if there were kids already in the first one. There were ones in the second one, right?
Dude, I don't know. I think I only saw adults. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I don't know. I remember everyone, at least with the first Spider-Man movie, enjoying it and, of course, cracking up at all the memes that are around came out with the first Spider-Man movie. So, like, and I remember people clapping at the end with Tobey Maguire and all. So,
no, the interesting thing to me is that I saw the box office for Spider-Man 2 recently this past week. They said that it somehow, I think they said it like made its way into the top 10. And that's that outside of Alamo Drafthouse where we saw it, they're selling the tickets for $5 instead of like the regular matinee price.
Yes.
Which is insane for Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man to be back in like the top 10 all these years later.
Yeah.
But something I really like that I've noticed that movie studios are doing is they keep re-releasing movies back in theaters. And I don't know if it's because there's a lack of stuff this year due to COVID and writer's strike overlap.
Oh yeah.
But I will not question it if it means that you get to see these again in a theater, because I really want to encourage the theater experience over and over as much as you can.
I think what helps a lot though is, besides just already having the fan base, but also the prices.
Oh yeah.
Because I can understand when people can't go to the movies, because most tickets, especially because I like what you do too, where you like to go with like a crowd.
Yeah.
Just usually that happens late at night, but those are the prices that are usually really high, like 16.
No,
or
because
bucks.
they keep upcharging, and thankfully 3D doesn't like do that so much anymore, because it was like $16 to $17 every night. And then you remember when you stood me up at the movie?
Why'd you say it like that? What movie?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Did I?
Do you not remember?
Oh, I fell asleep.
Yeah, that's why I sent you the one meme.
Oh, yeah, that is
so
so I like to sleep, guys.
This was
and Daniel hates when I sleep.
The Chris Pine film, Dungeons and Dragons.
By the way, that movie's great.
It is great. What Erwin did to me was not great. So these are love seats that they
Clarify. Is that AMC?
No, I pick. Yeah, you don't know because you weren't there.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
We were at the Domain.
Okay.
And you were supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be this like little shared area. The theater kind of sucks. Like, no hate, but I don't like it at all. The screen is tiny, and based off of what I was talking about with Challengers, which we'll talk about later, but
yes.
I don't like seeing things on like a smaller screen, if possible, to get a bigger one.
Yes.
So the whole idea of that was the only like way a bunch of us could go see it was if we saw it late.
Yeah.
And I don't usually go see movies that late, neither do you. It was at like 10 p.m. or something.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
And you were like, hey, I'm going to take a nap. And I'll be there a few minutes before.
Yeah.
And what I didn't know about the seating for that place is that it is like a pod. It's you two in like a little area. I'm pretty sure it's so you can make out, which...
Is it similar to how Movie House is?
Not even. Like, it's straight up like walled around you, so people can't see like the two of you together. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I'll keep that in mind next time.
And you get a blanket.
Whoa, what?
And they remove the free popcorn because they're cheap. But
wait, but free blanket.
It used to be cool. And then I waited for you.
Yeah, I mean, I bet.
Yeah.
And I was just knocked out apparently.
No, and that's why I send you the Scrooge thing, the guy with the blanket and the...
It is true. You'll hardly ever see me stay up late. So.
I can't do it either. I'm not good at it.
But I think it's because we just wake up early. So.
Yeah, no, I like being up early.
Me too.
But back to Spider-Man 2. I can't really ask you what were your like thoughts on it going into it.
Yeah.
But when was the last time you'd seen it?
Probably a couple of years ago around No Way Home.
Yeah.
I remember, of course, you were hearing all the rumors of like, oh, well, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield looks like they're going to be in it.
Yeah, right? No, and then like...
You start seeing photos and
Willem
all this
Dafoe's
and
in it, and then Otto Octavius is in it.
And so you're just like, well, I'm going to watch all the older Spider-Man movies just to build up the
like
hype
literally
of it.
For any reason to go watch those again. Yeah.
And so I think that was like the last time, which is what, like 2019? No.
Yeah.
20...
For what, No Way Home?
Yeah, I think it was like 2021 or 22.
21.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah, but that was like the last time I saw Spider-Man 2.
And
what about you?
Honestly, I think around the same time. I hadn't seen it in a couple years, and I remember thinking that it's one of those movies I would really like to preserve in terms of the amount of times I've seen it. I know the amount of times I've seen it. It's been a lot. I remember one of the first movies we ever watched whenever you came over to my house when we were younger was actually Spider-Man 2, and we were like, this movie's amazing. And
I thought it was The Dark Knight.
That's one of them.
Dude, the amount of times I've seen The Dark Knight is insane.
But for me, it's funny you bring that up. This is a reminder that there's just... I don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, they don't make them like they used to. Like that whole thing. Because that's basically just people saying that like, oh, back in my day when I was 5 years old, 8 years old. But really... This movie is astonishing. I was like just completely dumbfounded by how incredible it was again.
How it still holds up.
It still holds up. It still looks amazing. Yes. I think there's like maybe one shot or two that's a little dated, but honestly, who cares? the amount of craft behind it, the amount of style and the action. And although I did forget that I usually watch the director's cut because there's like 2 moments that aren't in there that I was just waiting for. And one of them is the moment whenever I was telling you that she's like, I'm seeing somebody. And then he goes, therapy. And then the other one, which I understand that it was omitted, but the Mary Jane scene.
I thought it was the one with the train scene.
There's an extended fight.
Yes.
With that, and then there's also that moment though where it's this shopping scene when
with her friend.
Yeah, and the friend is like, it's basically just a repeated moment where she's like, why would you choose the astronaut guy whenever, or like Peter Parker or whatever. It's basically just the conflict that's already happening.
Yes.
So there's no reason to repeat it, but I still like it. But you understand that this is supposed to be entirely about Peter Parker.
What are your thoughts on deleted scenes and then like having extended
scenes?
Versions and everything? Because
so,
I think for me at least, if it's not necessary, then we shouldn't have any deleted scenes unless it's like you can put it out as the whole film regardless. I'm
gonna fuck up his name again, but Denis Villeneuve. I know that he straight up he says deleted scenes are deleted scenes, and he doesn't release them. But sometimes you do see something, and you're like, "Oh, why was this removed? This is so good." And it's usually because it affects the pacing. It's a repeated moment that you're like, "We don't need this again." My thoughts on deleted scenes are they're cool little factors that you can sometimes look into. You're like, well, I understand why this is deleted, but it's cool to see more from the movie.
Okay.
But my thoughts on, I know we talked about extended editions last time, but sometimes they can be better movies.
Yes.
And the one time I really do approve of them is whenever the movie's already perfect, but you just get more of that movie. It's why.
You mean when like Lord of the Rings will come?
No, that's why I'm putting this out there so we do it. We're gonna review those because I adore them. The extended editions really do feel like watching them for the first time.
I'm glad because I've never seen them in theaters. So.
Yeah, and you haven't seen the extended ones at all, right?
No.
We'll save our story for Lord of the Rings and like how you did The Hobbit and everything for that episode.
Yeah.
But I love those so much, and the extended editions, I understand why you can't really put those into a theater because just keep in mind back in 2001 a movie like that, a trilogy like that was unheard of. It was basically just like an expansive new world, and people are still trying to recapture that energy.
Yes.
And
have you seen the show? The
Rings of Power? I saw like half of it.
Okay.
And I heard it picks up after the half that I stopped at because I was just like, this is really slow.
Yeah.
And I don't dislike it for all the reasons everyone else dislikes it. I don't even dislike it.
Okay.
I think my issue with it just was that I was like, everything's too clean and too like, it didn't feel like the same world to me. And that actually really bothered me.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really gravitate towards any of the characters. And they pull this bait and switch kind of in the first couple episodes where you're following somebody and then they disappear and it's someone else, and it's someone else way less interesting.
Okay.
But I think watching this in a theater again, how would you, because what had happened was you and I did not know that we were going to be sitting right next to each other.
That is true.
And I went with my girlfriend, who I love very much. And
Daniel's a lover boy.
Yeah, fully.
Yes.
So is Erwin.
No, I don't want to love anyone.
No, just me.
Yeah.
Just you. Yeah, nice.
Just you.
I'll keep that in mind. No, but what'd you think of the crowd around us?
Oh, it was a great crowd.
Yeah.
Everyone was entertained and enjoyed, and you can tell that everyone was in there that they've seen the movie before and they loved it as much as anyone else.
I am jealous of anybody.
We didn't say how we got tickets. Or we have the same, like, we're sitting next to one another without realizing.
No, so what had happened was Erwin and I got the same showtime.
Yes.
I didn't know that we'd be in the same row or the same seat.
That is true.
Or anything.
The only one is No Way Home.
That we're like a couple seats away.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny because everyone that she was talking to about that said that we planned that. We did not plan that.
Yeah.
And I remember I was explaining, I was like, Erwin just said that he needed to get a good seat, and so did I. It just happened to be right next to each other.
Exactly. It just makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Are you watching The Amazing Spider-Man?
Not the first one.
Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah, it's just the one that I was like,
I've seen that movie plenty of times.
Yeah.
And I know how I feel about it.
Do you remember back when we were like, this is like the best one, this is the cool one? Then
I mean, it was edgy.
yeah, back when
It was
we
like
were
emo Spider-Man.
13 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I saw that in El Paso because I was with.
Wait, remind me, what's your favorite actor playing a Spider-Man?
So
Dang.
Holland.
Okay.
But the best actor overall, but I do think that Tom Holland just needs a chance to pee in something, is Andrew Garfield. Like, by far, is the best.
I think it's hard because I'm like, I want Tom Holland. I think Tom Holland is like averagely good as playing like Peter and Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. But I just, like what you said, just because of Andrew Garfield just being like the best actor out of all of them, it's like I just want him to give him a chance to like actually do it right.
Yeah, I remember. Do you remember back when we were younger? And it's actually kind of funny that I remember talking about this so much. Where like if Andrew Garfield could just get a chance to be like Spider-Man one more time, and then this was before No Way Home, and then that came out, and we were like, oh, cool.
Yeah, we were right.
But what I think makes this movie special is we did see it in the 35 millimeter film format. It was beautiful. The grain was so cool. I miss the look of the yellow and black cigarette mark that you like occasionally blinks on the side to indicate that they have to change it or whatever. It did stumble once with like the
first Spider-Man movie. It did like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, the 3-2-1 thing.
Yeah.
I am only going to be critical of that in the sense that you do need to hire people that know how to do that. And
do you know how to do it?
No, it's a difficult job.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm just asking.
I wish I did. It's interesting that those are highly flammable and people used to smoke in the back of those. You know, the theater could have just like melted down if they wanted.
Sounds like Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, no, that's why I was like, that's literally what happens in that. But I love the look. Yes. I remember, there's just a moment where he walks into his apartment and then it looks so beautiful. I mean, the apartment's like gross, but it's the look, it's the colors. It's this idea that CG and everything that's prop based, integrated in, looks so good, like based in a film format, which is what I miss because digital, I feel, just makes everything flatter.
Yeah.
And
I think another thing was that reminded me from Spider-Man 2 in the first Spider-Man movie was just like the villains.
Yeah.
They're so strong. As strong as like the hero itself in those movies, especially in Spider-Man 3. I mean, besides Venom is kind of looking back at it, you're just like, oh, well, Venom.
There are issues with Spider-Man 3 that I think we've both just like, I don't want to say overcome, but I love that movie now. And
I do. Yeah. I can't. It's like I wouldn't watch it. Like, I would watch it.
Yeah, there's too many great things in it. Yeah.
Like, I love Sandman in that movie.
Yeah, it's amazing in it.
But in Spider-Man 2, like, I loved everything with Doc Ock. It was great seeing him, especially on the screen. I love I don't know why I didn't even think about this with, like, Kirk Connors.
Oh, yeah.
Just seeing him and, like, just, like, little subtle things like that. And then, of course, seeing J. Jonah Jameson.
In literally anything.
Yes.
I forget that every time he shows up, he's instantly funny. Every single line he says is hilarious.
Peter, take the picture.
Wait, what is he? He's like, what does he say right before that? In that exact same scene.
Oh, it's like, I don't know, something's like, I'm not paying you to.
Oh, yeah, I'm not paying you to stand there or something like that. I really like the moment. Obviously, that's like a huge meme. Whenever he's like, "Can I get a advance on my pay or whatever?" But,
and then I also love the other, like I guess like not the background. I guess the background characters. Yeah. So I guess like the New York City people.
No, so there was amazing. There was a YouTube video. I didn't actually watch it.
Oh, okay.
I saw the thumbnail though.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I agree with this.
I like that thumb.
But it was like, so. The reason why the Spider-Man movies are special is because they have these background extras that make them so interesting.
Probably because it feels more grounded.
No, because there's like random moments with characters in it that you're like, who is this guy? And it's like, especially in the train scene, I saw a tweet where someone was like, we need more bewildered and confused extras. And I love the moment whenever he's like stopping the train and then the guy asks him, he's like, have any more bright ideas? And he's like, I got a few. It's so great, and you're right. I think it does make it feel more real. It feels more lived in.
I think it's also because when you watch some other Marvel movies, or there's not just Marvel, but like DC movies as well, that they start to feel untouchable.
Yeah,
because
the heroes.
Like the heroes and everything. So, like movies like I remember, what is it, Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi, yeah.
Like the whole train, seeing like everyone react and
Oh,
everything.
it
to
was
his
the same
fight.
thing with that too.
Yeah, so like that was great. And then even with Spider-Man: Homecoming and Far From, I think it was mostly Homecoming.
Homecoming does that a lot. Yeah,
like a bunch of extras just saying stuff like that, like the banter around, like that was great.
Yeah,
and that's what I loved a lot about at least this with Sam Raimi movies, that he was able to capture just like this is a street level hero.
Yeah, and he's like there for
just for like the
New York, and
yes,
because movies at this level weren't operating on the scale of like let's make them bigger and bigger.
Yes,
it was mostly just telling the story that you needed to tell. And what makes this one in particular so special to me and so special to everybody who loves Spider-Man 2 is it fully understands the struggle and dichotomy of Peter Parker and Spider-Man and the balancing between those two things. I know that if there's any criticism about the movie I've ever heard, it's that people don't understand why Mary Jane is so hard on him in this movie.
See, and
but I don't agree. Yeah.
Just because Mary Jane, I just think Mary Jane as a character comparable to Peter Parker as a character is Peter has so much going on, and of course Peter's like intelligent, has all these powers, has a lot of things to be responsible about, while Mary Jane just seems very she's not the brightest. Yeah. And of course she has her acting gig, but then it just seems like she just complains a lot and doesn't know like how to take action and what she wants as well.
The issue with that obviously is that we know that Peter Parker is the superhero.
What?
And she doesn't know that.
Does Peter know?
Does he know that?
Does he know he's Spider-Man?
Does he know? But she doesn't.
Yes.
And then at the end of the movie, she's like, in a way, I feel like I always knew. I'm like, no, you fucking didn't.
No, you didn't.
You're like, why are you so mean?
Yeah, that's what you were. You were with the astronaut.
Show up at the showing of the importance of being earnest. I heard someone have a reaction to the moment whenever she's telling the astronaut guy, like, can you just do something for me? And he turns upside down, as like she's trying to figure out if
it has like the same feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I what did someone say? They were like, what's going on? Something like that.
Oh, when that scene happened?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. Did they say that's messed up? I think they did.
That makes sense. That's not messed up.
Because think about it this way: Mary Jane is like technically in a love triangle in her head with Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I guess. It just, I don't know. It's just it's so ridiculous because when you see Mary Jane, it's like you don't see her actually loving the astronaut.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people start to like dislike her. It's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing it to that guy? Even though it looks like you care more about Peter, even though you're saying you don't and your actions are saying it.
Yeah.
But it's just the way you come off that you just love somebody else and not the astronaut. And so just putting somebody through that.
No, granted, I think that one of the things that's interesting is people also think about if Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst have chemistry in these movies, and I think that they do.
Yes.
But in the sense of like that they definitely like each other, but they also have no idea how to navigate literally anything about their relationship. Like this movie, the end of it always makes me cry because he's beaten down pretty much in every given scene. Thank you for touching me.
Don't say it like that. We have to clarify. I didn't mean to touch him.
Yeah, he did.
I was challenged.
Uh-oh. But
I'm challenged.
What? With who?
No, I'm challenged.
By who?
No, like.
Okay.
Okay, I guess we're just not okay. I don't know if I want to say it or not. That's all.
No, don't.
Okay, there it is.
Well, Erwin.
Do you love it? Do you hate it?
Or are you somewhere between?
I love Spider-Man 2. Whenever people say, "What's your favorite movie?" and I'm like, I don't have one.
Oh yeah.
I always tell them like, well, these are like the 10 movies I would say would describe like what I love.
And then you
about
go,
movies.
Ernest Goes to Camp, Spider-Man 2.
Ernest Goes to
Dark
Camp.
Knight.
Spider-Man 2 is on my top 10 of like recommending movies to
Oh,
people.
what's the other one? There's more Ernest movies. Hang on.
Stop.
Air Bud.
Air Bud. Air Bud 2.
Air Bud.
Oh, what's the one with the dog, the Huskies?
Oh, dude. The one with what's
like
his
Snow,
name? There's two of them though.
I don't know.
I just Snow Dogs.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Babe. I think I'm
Cuba
just a
Gooding,
king.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah,
was in-
I used to be obsessed with that movie.
Dude, the amount of dog movies I would see as a kid from just because of like Disney Channel would show is
Yeah.
insane.
I remember thinking that was like just a normal type of movie genre, but when you really think about it, those movies make no sense.
No.
Why are there so many dog movies where they
don't know.
talk? I didn't see the
Or
one.
they're so capable of like doing so much, or like as capable as humans.
Yeah. And did you ever see Love on a Leash?
No.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay. It's one of those like absolutely horrendous, like the types of movies we used to watch at our friends that are intentionally awful, like The Amazing Bulk.
Dude,
And
I think about that one scene when he's running across
for like 7 minutes straight. It's so funny. The top 10 superhero movies of all time. Oh, that's one of your other favorite movies of all time.
I don't
It
even.
was- what
I don't
was
miss
it?
that. Actually, no. What I'm talking about. I do miss watching bad.
I liked
movies.
Beverly Hills Chihuahua. The first one though, the rest are bad. They're probably all bad.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy any of them. Even as a kid and everything, I didn't enjoy them.
Really?
Yeah.
Even
None of
the
them.
first one?
No, dude. Like I think because I just didn't like the fact that
I'm not gonna
when
get
they start-
defensive over
It's just the way he talked. I was just like, it doesn't match.
George Lopez
Lopez?
looks like my dog.
I
Not
was like,
actually.
George
but
Lopez would never be a Chihuahua.
he'd be a
I don't know.
what's another type of dog?
I just think George Lopez would be something bigger. Not a Chihuahua.
Like in Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that movie the other day.
Dude, I quote that one scene all the time. He took my dream journal.
Send him to the principal's
and
office and have
him
expelled. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. It's,
Well, okay. First off, let's finish.
yeah.
I'm sure I know your score
5 out of
for
5.
Spider-Man 2.
5 out of 5.
Okay.
6 out of 5.
No, for me a 5 out of 5 as well.
I love that movie so
It
much.
is beautiful. It's perfect. It makes me cry. The Go Get 'Em Tiger thing at the end is
Go Get 'Em
unbelievable.
Tiger.
Yeah, and then
so
the
good.
fucking song by Dashboard Confessional. I remember the first time I Vindicated. Yeah, I listened to it as like an adult liking pop punk a lot. I was like, this is genius. This song. And I think it's funny. I remember reading that whole thing where it's like Thomas Jane's Punisher's in the background of that one scene, and he's
Really?
like passes by for 1 second.
Wait, Thomas Jane the Punisher.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, you never heard about that before?
I think so, but I just don't remember
There's,
like
like-
the scene.
He's in it for like 1 second, and he just stares at Mary Jane funny, and everybody's like, "Do you think that's like a?"
Oh, Thomas Jane, just the actor that
Yeah.
played Punisher. Okay, I thought you
No,
meant, like, the
people think it's
Punisher
supposed to be
character.
like the Punisher.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what people do. Like remember when that like the deleted scene from the first X-Men movie when like Spider-Man shows up?
No.
No. So there's a deleted scene in the first X-Men movie, and it's like at the very end of the movie, and it's all of the X-Men are like coming together, and then all of a sudden you see a random guy in a
They're
Spider-Man
doing what
suit.
together?
A random guy in a Spider-Man suit saying like, "Oh, wrong movie" or something, and that was it. That was a deleted scene.
And they didn't keep it.
Dude, what?
That's more of a Deadpool thing.
Yeah.
I think. Which that trailer's awesome, by the way. I don't know
Yes,
if we
I
ever
agree.
talked about that. But Erwin, our next movie is Shrek 2. So
Top 5 songs that I always listen
No,
to now.
okay. So the
insane.
Counting Crows song, that's a masterpiece. So she said, "What's the problem, baby?" What do you think of Shrek 2?
I
What do you
love
think
it.
of Shrek?
Oh, I love him.
Not the guy, but
Oh, yeah. I love him. I would want him to make love with me.
like do you remember the Shrek is Love
Of
thing
course.
from like
How could I
forever
forget?
ago? Yeah. It was one of those things that like people had memorized in our high school, and then
Yeah.
they kept repeating it all the time. Like, watch this video, and then you
Watch
watch it, you're
this
like,
video.
what is this?
Click on this link and it sends you to that one black guy.
Oh, with the gigantic
Big
penis?
penis? Yeah. You're like, damn it, they got me.
Remember this thing that they kept sharing for a while? Our friend Jack would send it all the time.
Oh, that would
It was the link that would shut down your phone.
Yeah.
You know how to get a new phone because of that?
I do miss that. I'm not
Why?
gonna lie. It's just funny.
To break a phone? You're like, ha ha ha. You're like,
Destroying somebody else's property. It's just funny, guys.
That is how you think.
Yeah, I can't lie.
Well, what do you think of Shrek 1, Shrek 2? Actually, what do you think of the other Shrek movies before we get to Shrek 2?
I don't really remember a lot about Shrek 3 and 4.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one has that scene where it goes, do the roar.
I think that's in 4.
Okay, that one's my favorite scene.
Yeah.
Then, and he goes, I love you, Daddy.
That's in 4, I'm
say
pretty
that,
sure.
Occasionally, because I just love that. It's
I know.
so funny.
I've been around you. Well, I love the first Shrek. Shrek Retold is awesome. If you haven't seen that,
Oh,
by
is
the
it
way.
the one where...
It's the one where like a bunch of different people that really like Shrek overall
I forgot I
decided
saw
to...
that.
Yeah, we watched it together, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
It's really cool,
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
cool. I like it.
And Shrek 3 is bad. And Shrek 4 I thought was bad until I watched recently.
Mm.
It's really funny.
Oh.
And I kind of like it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where I was like, I'm really kind of glad I went back and watched this again.
Yeah.
Because I didn't
I haven't seen Shrek 3 or the fourth one
Yeah.
in years. Because I would only watch... Even to this day, I've seen the first Shrek movie more than the second one.
Really?
Yes. And I think it's just because the first one was on cable more often than the second one was.
Yeah.
But of course, I love the second one the most.
So the contrast here is that it's funny. We haven't brought this movie up since we reviewed it. Kung Fu Panda 4
Yes.
is a movie
Yes.
that we reviewed and we saw.
Yes, that is true.
And every single person I've ever spoken to about it was been way harsher than us about it.
Dude,
they were
every
like,
time they say, they're like, I just didn't expect that. Or
yeah.
I was just disappointed every
Dude, I
single
keep
time.
hearing it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
They just
I didn't
didn't
like
enjoy
it.
it.
I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't even think it was bad. I just thought it was
Yeah.
like so whatever.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I watched the second one again after that and I cried and I was
Yeah.
like,
What
you know
happened?
what? Maybe the fourth one is like even worse than like I anticipated.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's a bad movie. It's just nothing.
Yeah,
And that's
that's how
kind
I
of like
felt.
it's the worst thing it could be basically. But
Shrek 2?
so going back to that though, I had that in my mind.
Yeah.
And I went and saw Shrek 2 in a theater. You would not believe how well that still plays. I'm so glad I hadn't watched it in such a long time.
Me
It's
too.
that and Spider-Man 2, both of these movies are movies that I want to preserve and keep as special because they still are so incredibly good. I can't believe how funny this movie is.
Dude,
And
just the first, like the montage
yeah.
of them playing, what was it? Oh, Accidentally in Love. What I'm
Yeah.
talking about. In the very beginning, I just busted out laughing when they were just farting in that pool. I don't know why.
Okay.
Oh, busted?
You busted?
Oh, yeah, that too.
You busted
Well,
while
I mean,
you were
the-
laughing?
Yeah, the moment I saw Shrek turn from human to ogre, I was like, oh, wow, I busted.
Oh, wait. Back in from human to ogre?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
him as
no, I get it.
I like him as an ogre more than a human.
You don't like the human version of him?
No, I do.
These movies are so incredibly funny, and I can't believe how well written they are still. Like, this movie is kind of a parable about, like, racist parents and being accepted into, like, I don't know, it's weirdly about...
Whenever the fairy godmother was like, the gender confused...
Dude, I laughed so hard.
Oh, man, that one got me. And then the reference to... the fact that O.J. Simpson is still
Oh, yeah.
referenced or, like, still talked about to this day.
Mm,
I mean, he finally died.
yeah. Were you sad about that?
I mean, no. Why would I be sad? Like, he did it.
Was it on this, or were we on a phone call where I think it was on here where I was like, OJ died, and you said something about it, but I can't remember what it was. No, it's weird that a bunch of the references in this are still topical enough
Yes.
because you would think that pop culture references would be dated,
Uh-huh.
but all of the stuff that's referenced in this still exists
Yeah.
and is still around.
One thing I was trying to do in this movie, or when I watched it in theaters, was trying to see all those like Easter eggs.
Yeah.
In the background, like seeing like Old Navy and then like the Starbucks and all that.
All the names and stuff are really, really funny and clever. I forget though that Puss in Boots in this movie is kind of ugly because I remember what he looks like in the most recent Puss in Boots movie. Mm-hmm. But don't get me wrong, it's like the animation in this still really holds up.
Yes.
And I think it's because it has such a distinct style. And
what type of animation is it?
CG, like
it's just still CG.
Yeah, it's still just like 3D animation.
I thought it was like no, not drawing. Because wasn't the first one drawing?
No,
or was it also CG?
No, the first one's one of the first ever CG movies ever made. Okay. Yeah. And I forget that these movies, for being kids movies, are kind of daring in like the jokes they decide to make, because they definitely are more tailored for, I don't want to say adults, but it's one of those things where growing up, if you were to have a kid, what I would recommend doing is introducing like Disney movies.
Yes.
And then Shrek at like the ages of 5 to 7. And the reason I say that is that way you understand the thing that they're parodying.
I also think you should, when it comes to Disney movies, you should make them watch the older ones though.
Yeah.
Start from there, like watching, what was it? The King Arthur one.
Oh, the Sword in the Stone. Yeah,
Sword in the Stone, and then Black Cauldron. Like, they're just the older ones first, and then just bring up...
The Black Cauldron has mixed reviews, but I love it. I think it's amazing, and I think it's super underrated, actually.
I haven't seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah, I was planning on watching it soon.
I'm curious what you're going to think of it, actually, because some people find some of it super annoying.
Because I saw Sword in the Stone a while ago.
It was okay.
Yeah, so after watching Sword in the Stone, I guess I just didn't realize how much of the older films have much of an impact in certain Disney movies now, or not just Disney movies, but like other movies along the way.
No, they still carry alongside. And I remember I actually a couple of years ago did a marathon. I was trying to do every single Disney movie like from the past. Yeah. I've seen most of them now. And The Sword in the Stone is too, like, just kind of, it has too many non sequiturs of, like, nothing happening.
Yeah, I can't disagree on that. I do like The Wizard. I remember The Wizard a lot.
No, that was probably the best part, but that's, like, the actual part of the movie that has a plot. And then he turns into, like, is it a frog or a bird or something for a while?
The bird, yes.
Yeah. No, but it's interesting because these movies both work as satire and genuinely just telling their own story.
Yes.
Do you remember back when we were in Spanish? I think it was Spanish.
Okay. And
we had to make our own fairy tale books. And I think yours was Shrek, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Then I just copied it.
Yeah, you just straight up like...
Hey, I passed.
You got 100. I remember. Because I was like, hey.
Hey. And I'm like,
And she said
free
it was
use?
fun. Is it free use? I don't think it is. You don't own Shrek. Do you know the Stinky Cheese Man?
No.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Dude, I've been thinking about him a lot lately. It's this guy.
Wait, some of Disney's properties are free use now? Like Winnie the Pooh and all?
Like the Blood and Honey thing?
Yeah.
It's because...
Wait, the second one got like 100%.
It has bad reviews now. It was one of those... It was just...
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I want to entertain those movies with like...
Dude, I don't know. I would love to review them just to talk about, like, I don't know. I would just love to review them.
Since you said that, now we will.
Oh, great. Okay. I'm excited for October. I'm not going to lie, because I definitely want to do more horror.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, did you touch me again?
That was you, bro.
Oh, yeah, I touched you.
Oh, challenge? Challengers?
Well, I don't have any flaws with Shrek 2 either. I will say that, like, watching it again, though, you ever watch something from when you were a child and you go, I think I finally understand where part of my sense of humor was developed?
Yes, very.
It's definitely this, too. And all the references, like I said, are amazing. I don't have any singular...
I love all the music in this as well.
Also, okay, so addressing
amazing.
That, though, every movie ever, unless they're fully confident they can use it better than this movie, needs to stop using Holding Out for a Hero because this movie has the best use of it, and then I have to hear it in like Shazam. And
when? In the second one?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't really remember the second one. I did not enjoy it.
I didn't. I think I was like nice-ish to that movie when it came out. I don't think it's very good.
No. I did love the first one though.
And then also the Mario Brothers movie uses it.
Oh yeah, what the heck? I don't know. Every time I think about that song, I do think about the
Shrek 2. And then
yes.
Loki uses it, but Loki's like different. I don't know why that, but I like Loki.
I don't remember that in Loki.
Really?
Yeah.
It's in like season 1 somewhere.
Oh, okay.
But no, I always think of this movie.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't have a whole lot much else to say about it. I think it is genuinely still really clever.
It's
I wish
still relevant. Shrek is so relevant even now, especially if you introduce Shrek to somebody who's never seen the movies or doesn't even know about Shrek, they instantly just love Shrek again.
No, it's the simple fact that they even teased Shrek 5 and everybody got super excited about it.
That is true.
Because while 3 and 4 weren't as beloved as 1 and 2, there is space for this franchise to come back, I think. Because there's a whole lot of new stuff to satirize. And if they do it in the animation style of like Puss in Boots or something like that, that would be really cool.
Dude, it'd be so good. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was amazing.
Yeah. I think people forget like that. If we were talking about those really quick though, that's definitely my second favorite Shrek movie. Like for me, I think it would go Shrek 2 as number 1, which I think unless they just like really hit it out of the park with 5, I don't see how that would ever.
I don't see it.
Yeah. And then Puss in Boots, and then probably the first Shrek, and then I don't remember what I thought of the first Puss in Boots.
I think what I remember liking it.
Yeah.
But of course not liking it as much as the other ones.
I think in the moment it was hilarious whenever Humpty Dumpty was
dude,
in the background.
Just seeing Humpty Dumpty in every single scene was just funny to me.
Yeah. This is another. Wait, actually, let me finish my ranking. Puss in Boots, I just don't know where to put because it's
somewhere
not
there.
Yeah. Shrek 3's last. That's what I know.
Oh, okay.
And then Shrek 4 is second to last, but I actually like that one. Everything else up above I like to love.
Okay. I mean, I have to see them again because I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, what would you rate Shrek 2?
5.
Yeah?
5 out of 5. I love Shrek 2 so much. I'm so happy that they're releasing a lot of movies just decades ago.
No, it's so cool, and I hope that they're doing it for 2005 as well. Although, I don't know how in demand it is, but I would like to see Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, back in a theater.
I can see that happening in like one theater, and you have to drive 50 miles away.
I would do it. No, you know what? No, if Alamo did it, I bet anything that they could get if they did like a themed.
Oh yeah, how they usually do it.
Yeah,
yeah, I agree. I can see that happening.
The other thing I wish is that more comedies came out in general. That's what this movie reminded me of.
Oh yeah,
I haven't.
Comedies don't hardly ever come out in theaters.
It's because there's no like I can't stand that they decided to make those streaming only types of movies because I want to laugh with people. I love this so much, and Spider-Man 2. And Erwin, I think that's about it for us. Okay, sounds good to me. I need a hero. Want to thank you guys for listening. And we're going to be doing more 2004 movies throughout. I'm not quite sure how we're going to pace it. We do need to look at which ones have come out. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if you want to do Alien. I know they're releasing that in theaters again. Oh, right. Yeah. Actually, the reason why I'm not going to see it is because I actually just saw it at a drive-in like a month or two ago. I think it was. Yeah. Okay. So it's fresh in my memory. I've seen it so many different times. No, let's not do it. I'll just go enjoy that movie in peace. All right. Without me. Without me? Yeah, of course. No, you can jump in the shower. With me? Yeah. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. Again, if you could, please. Thank you. Leave a star rating. Star rating. For us on either. Either. Okay. On either Apple or. Apple. You're fucking me up. Apple Podcast or Spotify. Spotify. Thank you so much for listening. Up next, we're going to have a review for you for the film Challengers. How you were challenging me? Yeah, I'm challenged. Is that what you're saying? By who? You know what? No. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you next time.